But buzzing right now, can you imagine hitting the lottery and still collecting welfare? Where this Michigan woman did just that. Amanda Clayton won $1 million, but did not stop collecting $200 a month in public assistance. When a Detroit area television station confronted Clayton, she said she believed she was still entitled to that welfare.
Well, I thought that they would cut me off, but since they didn't, I thought maybe it was okay because I'm not working.
But you won more than $1 million.
No, I won $1 million,
Right.
but after I took the lump sum, it dropped down to $700,000, and then after taxes, it was just a little bit over half.
Taxpayers are really struggling that really need that money. Do you really think you have a right to that money?
I mean, I kind of do. I mean, I have no income, and I have bills to pay.
Alrighty, the state has since cut Clayton, who's 24 years old. They cut her off. Now, do you believe Clayton really thought she might be entitled to stay on welfare? Plus, who bears the burden of making sure stuff like this doesn't happen? And what, if anything, should be done to make sure it doesn't happen again? Joining us today to buzz about this story and everything else under the sun today, 550 KFYI's Jim Sharp. Thanks for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
When I told you about this story, it is generating so much buzz. So many people, a lot of them outraged, and others saying, well, give her a sprout.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. $500,000 is essentially what she walked away, you know, taking the payout. But because she's not working, she gets to collect money that you and I pay for. It makes no sense whatsoever. And this is the thinking, this is the mentality that's out there of basically thinking the government's supposed to take care of you from cradle to grave now. You know, the second you pop out of mom and the second you pop in the ground, we take care of everything for you.
Well, but at the very least, should this not at least engage a conversation between the lottery officials and the lottery office and the welfare office? There seems like there's a major lag in between those two. They should automatically have to register, and she was supposed to register the fact that she, or at least tell the welfare office that she won this money, and she didn't do that.
Well, you know, and we hear stories all the time, too, about people who go and they use, if it's located inside of a grocery store, you can use your food card for a Starbucks, really? You know, get yourself a blueberry scone and a venti, you know, for what, $50? And people think this way. They just think they're entitled to it now.
We talked about that. We buzzed about that not too long ago, how folks they're being banned from using those ATM cards, those food welfare cards inside of liquor stores, inside of strip clubs.
Strip clubs.
I mean, come on. You know, we're the taxpayers here. We are burdening, we're burdened with paying this money. You know,
and something that I talked about this morning, I talked about the Forbes billionaire list. Here's how it all ties in. We're $15 trillion in debt in this country. If you take it's like 1,200 billionaires around the world, you take all their combined money, it's less than a third of what our government's debt is now. We can't afford people who've won the lottery to go out and use their food stamps. It just doesn't make sense.
And a lot of people are not buying that. Well, I didn't know. I mean, they kept sending me the money. A lot of you are really sounding off on this. Let's get to your comments. Michael Richards says, it's welfare fraud, plain and simple. She was not entitled to the money. She'd have to pay it back with fines. Jennifer Glenn, how is she even qualifying? I don't have millions. I don't have near that, but I still don't qualify. She should be in jail. Tito Nunez, it's the government/state's fault. And Tina Rowe, these entitlement generation kids are just insane. She doesn't deserve the money. Randy Jones on Facebook, this situation is bad, but hopefully it will wake up taxpayers and legislators loudly enough to make changes. And Randy, you're exactly right. Lawmakers have now vowed to really get that dialogue going and keep the lines of communication open between the welfare agency and the lottery office.
How many times have we heard this, though? I mean, not necessarily with the lottery, but how many times have we heard they're going to reform this, they're going to reform that, and these stories keep happening.
And people will slip through the cracks, and that's one of them. Good for that TV station for getting her on the record.